Hello there, Internet. Damagen here. This is a very unusual setup for the start of a video, isn't it? But I'd just like to talk to you for a little bit before we get into today's game. This is my prelude, if you will. I'd like to talk to you about writing and why it is important to me, because I am a writer. I've got like 6 books out. I'm working on 7 and 8 currently, and I'm an English teacher. I've taught students at the ages of 11 to 18 for the last almost 20 years now, so I'm getting on a bit. So writing and storytelling is very, very important to me. And while a lot of people say, oh, you know, if you're a writer, you've got to read lots of books. That's true to an extent. The written word is quite important, and this is why, you know, we encourage all of our students to read as much as possible. But that's not the only source for stories. You know, you can get stories from television shows, you can get stories from movies, you can get stories from graphic novels, and of course you can get stories from computer games. And obviously, as a gaming channel, that's what I want to talk about right now. My love for the Final Fantasy series is because of the writing. Yeah, the battle mechanics are interesting. I quite like the strategy of it, but I like the world building, I like the characters, I like the settings, I like the stories that these games tell. And that's why I'm such a fan of most games in the franchise. The thing is, they're not all brilliantly written. Some of the games are good all the way through. Some of them are decent, but with patches of brilliance. And anybody that tells you that writing fiction is easy either is lying out of their ass, or doesn't know what they're on about. Because writing fiction is hard work. Can it be fun? Hell yes. On good days when the words are flowing, there is nothing that beats, in my opinion, that creativity, that creative flow, when words are just coming out perfectly on the page. But that's not every day. That's not even most days. You know, even writers that I hold in massively high regard, Neil Gaiman, Terry Pratchett, Stephen King, their days of writing are not perfect every single day. Writing takes time, it takes hard work. It's a process. You know, one of the things that I tell my students is, you know, when they're looking at a poem or a play or a piece of fiction or non-fiction for the very first time, they have to remember that those words that they're seeing there on the page are there deliberately. Those words that they're seeing on the page are not necessarily the first words that the poet or the writer thought of when wanting to get those ideas down on paper. It's a process of revision, and this is sadly something that they don't get a whole lot of time for in schools. Most of the novellas and books that I've written have had, at a bare minimum, 5 drafts before getting into some kind of publishable state. So it's a long process, you know. And if you're writing a book or a poem or a video game script for a story-heavy game with thousands of lines of dialogue, it's time-consuming. It will take multiple revisions. And what it comes down to, for me as a writer, is the characters. You know, you can create a fabulous setting, but if you can't populate it with interesting characters, you failed, in my opinion. It's a very subjective opinion, as all opinions are. So, characters, and you know, you can break down characters realistically for the people that you follow along a story with into your protagonists and your antagonists. Your protagonists, the people that you are pro, the people that you are for, and the antagonists, the people that antagonize or who are against, working against the protagonist. Your antagonist doesn't necessarily need to be a bad person, just like your protagonist don't necessarily need to be a good person. The idea of heroes and villains is very black and white, is very unnuanced, and that's not necessarily a good thing in a story. And in my opinion, the best stories are the ones where characters have certain shades of grey, certain character traits and flaws that don't make them, you know, lawful good paladins, to use a D&D term, if any of you are familiar with that. The do-gooders, the to doing right all the time. Villains, antagonists, the bad guys are, in my opinion, the key to a good piece of fiction writing. All heroes, all protagonists are only as interesting as what it is that they are fighting against. And in the case of a lot of fantasy, that is an antagonist or multiple antagonists. In most of the Final Fantasy games, it is the Empire in one way, shape, or form. And there are some really good antagonists in Final Fantasy literature. To name some of the more common ones recently, Ardyn in Final Fantasy 15. Say what you want about Final Fantasy 15 as a game and its story as a whole, but in terms of characterization, Ardyn was an interesting, complex, entertaining villain. And in my opinion, that's what you need. Emmett Selk in Final Fantasy XIV Shadowbringers. I've spoken at length about him in other videos on this channel. The very fact that you see so much of Emmett Selk and he is personable and emotive and to a great extent likable means that what you end up having to do to put him down at the end of the 5.0 main 5.0 MSQ is in many ways a real tragic loss. Sephiroth in the Final Fantasy VII remake. A lot of people say, oh god, there's too much Sephiroth, they've introduced him too early, all the surprise and the mystery's gone. I disagree. I think there's actually more mystery about who Sephiroth is and what he wants and why he's intervening the way it's done in FF7R. Personally, he's a more interesting villain because he's got more screen time. We get to know him a little bit better. Not much. He's still very much a mystery. I don't think we know a great deal more about him by the end of the 40 hours of FF7R than realistically we do by about halfway through FF7, the original. But yeah. And of course there's Kefka in Final Fantasy VI, the game that I'm about to start playing. Kefka is a very interesting character, driven mad by Magitech experiments. A real interesting character because he's not the main villain. Or at least we're led to believe he's not the main villain for most of the first half to 2/3 of the game. He's a servant. He's funny. He's obviously nuts. He's very much like the Joker in some way, shape and form. He wants to watch the world burn. But it's not until later when Gestahl actually gets what he wants, finds the Warring Triad and so on and so forth. I'm not going to talk too much about the plot for reasons that I'll go into in a moment. It's only then that Kefka really comes into his own as a legitimate villain. And it's the surprise of what Kefka is and what Kefka does that makes Final Fantasy VI such a good game, in my opinion. I like being surprised when it comes to stories. Final Fantasy 13-2 is a game that not a huge number of people really quite liked it. But the main character dying at the end of it, that was a surprise. Didn't expect that at all. Aerith's death, obviously in the original Final Fantasy VII. Don't know where they're going to do that in the remake. Don't know if they're going to do that at all in the remake. I will be annoyed if they don't, to be fair. I've had a lot of time to think about the remake of Final Fantasy VII and the things that I think really do need to remain unchanged going forwards into this unknown journey. The loss of Aerith was something that was spoiled for me way back when, because I didn't play Final Fantasy VII until much later. So I knew that she died before I actually got to play it, before I saw the scene. And it was still a powerful scene, but I knew it was coming. So that was a bit of a shame. And then, of course, there's Again, Kefka and Final Fantasy VI. Kefka's betrayal of the Emperor and him basically winning. You know, a lot of villains in fantasy games are setting out to conquer and destroy the world. Kefka manages it. Kefka does it. Halfway through the game, Kefka wrecks everything. The world is destroyed. The map is redrawn. The world of balance as it was is transformed into the world of ruin. And that has stuck with me. It stuck with me for many, many years because I last played Final Fantasy VI when I was in my early 20s. In fact, I've only played it once. And in the time between me having played that game and the present day, certain life things have happened that mean that I don't really have any memories from before I'm 25. Very, very few memories at all. So, whilst I know that that is the thing in Final Fantasy VI that really grabbed me, I can't really remember much else about the game. I know the odd character. I know there's an opera scene. I know that your main character is Terra with the... Well, your main character. There's loads and loads of characters. But yeah, I don't really remember much of anything about Final Fantasy VI. So I'm going to play it again. And I'm hoping, as I play it again, that I will not discover that I am blinded by nostalgia, by this feeling that I've got that I really, really enjoyed Final Fantasy VI. I'm sure I still will. But that's the thing about memories. That's the thing about nostalgia, how it can blind you. A lot of people hold up Final Fantasy VII as an amazing story. I've played the first 10 plus hours of that game recently after I finished the remake. Ooh, there's some bad writing in there. Terrible writing, terrible pacing, not good storytelling. And you know, if you think that the opening 10 hours all the way up to Cosmo Canyon is great writing, that's your, you know, that's your right. You are allowed to think that. But there's not a huge amount of good writing. The Barrett and Dine stuff is well written and emotive. And the stuff with Red 13 in Cosmo Canyon is well done. But up until that point, not a huge amount. So, nostalgia can blind us. There's a reason why, you know, we look at things with rose-tinted spectacles. Everything seems shinier, rosier, nicer with the more time that we've got between something and the present day. So I'm hoping that Final Fantasy VI isn't too bad. And as I go through, I'm going to just basically experience the game to a certain extent for the first time again, because as I said, I don't have any memories of what it was like before. It may well be that things come back to me as we go. This does tend to happen in video games. There's something weird in my brain that helps me remember things from video games long after I've played them. I suppose we better get into it because I've already managed to talk for almost 15 minutes. Thanks for sticking with this. I've no idea if I even made any sense. But writing Final Fantasy VI as a story is one of those games that inspired me to become a writer. Final Fantasy VIII was the first one. But I played 6 and 4 before I played 7. So let's see if it's as good as I barely remember. So, it's been about 3 days since I did that introductory bit because I couldn't decide which version of the game to play. I played the SNES version on ZSNES, I think it was, back whenever it was. And I only know it was ZSNES because I was talking to my best mate about it a couple of days ago and he said, oh yeah, that's what got him into ZSNES as an emulator. There are multiple versions of Final Fantasy VI available. There's the SNES game. There's the SNES game with patches that change the script up. There's the Game Boy Advance version with just generic base stuff, and then there's the Game Boy Advance version that's been patched in with the SNES version, SNES version's music, because the GBA didn't have very good music versions of the songs. There's the base Steam version, which a lot of people think is horrible because it's basically an iOS port with touchscreen stuff still left on the screen. And then there's various modded versions of the Steam version, and I've basically decided that that's what I'm going to play with. The one thing, there's a couple of things that I don't like having messed around with the Steam version, and you can see that I've got an hour and 40 minutes worth of testing time trying to get this all set up. I don't like the way the Steam version lists magic. I don't like it at all. I much prefer the original way of, having all of your magic spells in a single continuous list and you just select the one that you want. The Steam version has got tabs. I don't like that. I also don't like the fact, actually, that the magic menu covers the screen as opposed to appears down the bottom over the top of the other menus. Minor things. So anyway, let's get this started. So this is the Final Fantasy VI, A World Reborn. It's got a patch on it for, well, various things, to be honest. Upgraded soundtrack, new UI, slightly different font. I'm not using the SNES font or the GBA font that are available because I don't like them, basically. I think they're kind of difficult to read. So, new game. Start a new game. Yes, please. The ancient war of the Magi. When its flames at last receded, only the charred husk of a world remained. Even the power of magic was lost. In the 1,000 years that followed, iron, gunpowder, and steam engines took the place of magic, and life slowly returned to the barren land. Yet there now stands one who would reawaken the magic of ages past, and use its dread power as a means by which to conquer all the world. Could anyone truly be foolish enough to repeat that mistake? Yes. Yes, they could. So this version has got completely redone graphics. There's the city. Hard to believe an Esper's been found frozen there 1,000 years after the War of the Magi. Bah, probably just another wild goose chase. I don't know. They wouldn't have let us use her unless they were confident that the information was good. Yeah, our witch. I hear she fired 50 of our Magitech armoured soldiers in 3 minutes. Kinda makes your skin crawl, don't it? Relax. With that thing on her head, she's a mindless puppet. Girl won't even breathe unless we tell her to. We'll approach from the east. Move out. So this has got the original version of the walk to Narshe. The Steam version, for some reason, has a different version. To be fair, I actually quite like the newer version. I think it's actually quite good. But this has got the original kind of Mode 7 style thing going on. An interesting thing about the Final Fantasy VI version on iOS and Steam, it's actually got the original game, I think it's the Game Boy Advance game, inside it. And what the game does is it pulls out and emulates all of the data for positions and sprites and stuff, but uses updated graphics. And I think that's really quite clever. So, for example, this scene, it would have originally pulled out a new version of the kind of snow field. It would have pulled out a new version of the overlay for the actual snow falling down. It would have pulled out data for a new version of the sprites, but it would keep the actual timings and so on and so forth of everything from the original, because it's just pulling that positioning data from the original data on the, I think it's the Game Boy Advance version of the game. It's a really interesting way of doing that. Obviously, they've changed how it interacts with the menus and stuff, which we'll get into as we get there. You'll also notice there's a little bit of clipping going on with the fonts that I've chosen, which is a little bit annoying. I might have to see if I can change the font up again. But I wanted something that was readable. You'll also notice that I've got some borders down the side and some scan lines. It's very light. In fact, I can turn it off. This is what the game looks like without it on. But it's got a slightly more retro feel, because I don't think the game really works. The girl takes point, and don't waste time on the riffraff. Remember what we're here for. Let's move. So here we are. We've got Biggs and Wedge, or Vix and Wedge, if you remember from the SNES version. And we're going to get our combat tutorial. Imperial Magitech armor? Not even Narshe is safe anymore. So yeah, this is what I don't particularly like. This menu that goes over the middle of the screen. But this is our combat tutorial. And I don't really need it, because as I said, I've done this bit already to set it up. Biggs gained a level, Wedge gained a level. Doggies! For Narshe! I still don't actually know how you pronounce that. Is it Narshe? 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 I just use Bioblast on everything because it one-shots most of the enemies in this area. And it's AoE. Guards as well. Fire beam. A lot of people are of the opinion that Final Fantasy VI's soundtrack is one of the best in the series. I completely agree. This is the Nostalgia remix, if I remember correctly. We got him trapped now! Pincer! Surrounded. Now, some people like these rising menus at the bottom, and some people hate them. There are three options technically, for how it works. I don't really like either of them. I kind of prefer the way the original does it, with just the menu being at the bottom all the time. I'll show you. That's why everything's so loud, because it's reset that. I forgot once it's a new game, it gives you... Yeah, so I'll show you what tab left is like. Because there's another couple of fights coming up for us to test. The snow is much brighter in this version. Defend the mines. I love the fact that they seem to be wearing denim jeans. So this is the other version of the battle screen. You can see it takes up a lot more space at the bottom. And the actual ATB kind of rises up over character portraits. I don't know. I don't mind this one. In some ways, it's easier to use. According to our source, they unearthed the frozen Esper in a new mine shaft they were digging. This must be it. A strange light fills the air. Do you want to learn about save points? No, I do not. I am aware of how save points work. I'm going to save this on file 2. I'll probably end up going back to file 1 after I've just done this intro bit. Because I've not done anything on it except do some fights. I'll handle this. Stand back. We're not handing over the Esper. Him here! Get him! Hold it! This thing's a... They must have trained it to guard the mines. What are you talking about? You know what this is? Ever heard of a lightning whelk? It's a monster that absorbs lightning. And stores the energy in its shell. Right. So whatever you do, don't attack the shell. Got it. I'm already losing track of who's saying what. Emir. Fire. Fire. Magic missile. Get some healing done. No! Damn it! Ow, ow, ow! Don't shoot it when its tail is up. No, that's the wrong game. I really, really love the soundtrack in this game, though. I know a lot of people are like, "Oh, it's absolute sacrilege if you don't play with the original." But you know what? I really, really like this orchestrated version of it. And there are multiple packs available with the World Reborn mod, including one that turns all the portraits and stuff into kind of really Amano-style versions. And the sprites, actually. So you can get the one with Terror with blonde hair, which I've never really understood. Because, as far as I'm aware... So oh, no, I do not want to run from the battle. I keep pressing tabs to try and tab through this stuff at the top. That's not how it works. Can't run away. Grok? And it doesn't stop trying to run away either. Yes, yes, yes. Oh, interesting. It's a toggle. I didn't know that. I don't know whether the wait command works properly on this either. Right, let's get ourselves healed back up now we've messed that up. But yeah, accidentally hitting the right bumper is probably going to be an issue in fights throughout the game. Oh, there we go. What was I saying? I was saying something about the soundtrack, but yeah, I really love the soundtrack in this game. Ba, 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 ba. Yeah, love the soundtrack. Oh yes, the art style. Amano did his portrait based on the sprite work, not the other way around. So he chose to give her blonde hair despite actually having green-haired Terra to look at. Combat. In tab mode, you can switch to another character whose ATB gauge is full. See, this is what the original UI is supposed to look like. I've just got auto battle on there. You can use square, I think it is, to put auto battle on. Ba, ba, ba. Right. Let's see if we can actually get into the game proper. I always screw this up. You just go through the archway there. What's this? So, this is the frozen Esper. This thing's giving me the creeps. Something's not right. The frozen creature begins emitting an eerie light. Huh? Where's that light coming from? Ah! What was that? Wedge? Wedge, where are you? Hey! What's going on? Huh? 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 This is a little detail I really like. It really does look like she's in bed there, but actually it's literally just a kind of area that you can slide into. You know, that's good and entertaining uses of how the original layered things. Where am I? My, and I just removed the crown. My head hurts. Ugh. Easy there. This is a slave crown. The others were using it to control you. It was robbing you of your thoughts, making it so you do whatever they told you. I can't remember a thing. Don't worry, it'll all come back to you. In time, that is. A mysterious young woman born with the gift of magic and enslaved by the Gestalian Empire. What is her name? Her name is Terra. Not Tina. Terra. My name is Terra. Impressive. I've never heard of anyone recovering so fast. You must be made of tougher stuff than most. Open up! We're here for the Magitech armor pilot. Open this door right now and hand over that girl. She's an agent to the Empire. Empire? Magitech armor? There's no time to explain. You need to get out of here. Those fools aren't going to listen to reason. This way, quickly! Make your way out of town through the mines. I'll try to buy you some time. Okay. Up there. Oh no. Escape Narshe through the mines, Capo. Let's get... Ooh. So you'll notice that one of the things this mod does is massively upgrade the artistry of the backgrounds. They're very high def in comparison to the original. I don't like that it gives you the option to return to the title screen there. I keep almost accidentally pressing it. Now, there were a lot of random encounters in this game. But if they're against basic enemies like this, you can speed them up by pressing square and it will do auto battle a chunk faster. Good for grinding. Terra gained a level. Well done, Terra. Obtained. Phoenix down. No. Wrench. Oh, I should probably heal myself, shouldn't I? That's the thing that should be done. Fortunately, Terra is one of the very few magic users. Yeah, there's just too many button presses for that. I don't think it would be so bad if you could use the kind of bumpers to toggle through the different tabs at the top, but you can't. It has to be left and right on the pad, as opposed to the original, which just had the list of spells. Obtained. Sleeping bag. You can't get through there yet. I think you have to come back there much later. Now, just to remind you what the game looks like without the... Now, I think just a slight scanline effect really adds to helping the sprites fit into the background. There she is! Oh no! Huh? Ah! Ah! Ugh. My sweet little magic user. With this slave crown, you'll be all mine. Have they cut out the laugh? What? I obey. Good, good. Burn them all to a crisp. Burn, burn. Soldiers of the Empire, we stand at the dawn of a new age. The lost power of magic has returned to us. We are the chosen ones. The time has come for us to claim our rightful dominion over the world. Nothing shall stand in our way. Hurrah! Long live Emperor Gastal! Woohoo! We love you, Emperor! Took you long enough. Busy with all the robbing and plundering, I presume. A treasure hunter and trail-worn traveller, searching the world over for relics of the past. Look! I prefer the term treasure hunting. Ha! Semantic nonsense. There's a huge difference. Anyway, is there something you need me to do? No, there is indeed. I met the girl. You don't mean? The city guard is pursuing her as we speak. This city has the strength to stand up to the Empire, but it won't use it. The people are just too stubbornly independent to join an underground resistance group like the Remainers? Returners? I tried to explain that the Empire was controlling the girl, but they wouldn't even listen. All right, so you want me to get her out of Narshe? That would be the idea. Make your way to Figaro for the time being. Okay, then. Meow. Uh-oh. Now we've got her. Wonderful. There's a whole bunch of them. Kapow! Moogles? Do you say you want to help? Nod. Kapow! Use us to protect Terra from the guards. Would you like an explanation? Yes, because I can't remember to do it. You'll fight using 3 different parties. Press right shift or left shift to switch between parties. Defeat the leader of the guards before his men reach Terra, or the battle's lost. Nice. Ba da 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 da. Ba ba ba. Ooh. All the Moogles. You can't see their names in this version, can you? Mastered a new dance? Twilight Requiem? I don't know what that does. Whoa! It does a shit ton of damage, apparently. Hey, that was Mog. Don't we get Mog as a party member later on? Which is probably why he's got 240 HP. That's another thing that I don't like about the Game Boy Advance version of this. it doesn't show you out of how many HP that you've got. It just shows you how many you have right now. Oh. Might as well just keep on using this, hadn't we? Ow! Oh, that did not do anywhere near as much damage. Interesting. I do like how they all attack with very different weapons. No. All the battles belong to us. I don't recall there being any huge amount of points stealing from these enemies. Megalodeth. Stab. I think there's only a set number of these. That snowstorm's the killer. You there. Nope, that. Put auto battle on for this. Just because it's faster. Turn it off just before the end. I thought we had to kill this guy, but I couldn't remember. Oh no! Something tells me this group is not going to succeed. No, because he's one-shotting all the Moogles. He is literally one-shotting all the Moogles. Right. Locke, it's your time to shine. And I use the term loosely. Right. Deal with the wolves. Net? Stab. Ow. Couldn't steal. That spear guy does a nice chunk of damage. Yeah. Defending. Ah, there we go. Well done, Moogles. Don't be proud. Thanks, Moogles. We're in your debt. Whee! Let's switch order. Aha! Eh? You're back with us now? You saved me? Save for thanks for the Moogles. I can't remember a thing. It's like my mind's trapped in a fog. You lost your memory? A man said it would come back eventually. So you've got amnesia. Don't worry, I won't leave your side until your memory returns. I'm not going to give a gun up and abandon someone just because they lost their memory. I'll keep you safe, I promise. This is a school for the beginning adventurer. Despite all of our recent advances in technology, the outside world remains full of monsters we know little about. Here we provide advice to travelers brave enough to face its many dangers. They do. More importantly, they've got a bucket full of healing water. One of these is a mimic. Yes, that one. It's a monster in a box! Who left that there? It's so bizarre. I'm wondering how many times I'm going to accidentally hit return to title screen in this playthrough. This is not a monster in a box, I don't think. Sleeping bag. It's like a tent, but smaller. And there is a chest up here. A single potion. Wonderful. Onwards! To the world map. It's a leaf buddy. I ain't scared of you. Okay. So I'm switching over to the original file here simply because I've done some stuff on it, and there's no point actually losing that progress just for the sake of continuity. But I've not been here. This is Figaro. Figaro Castle, in fact. Oops. Halt. Oh, it's you. Proceed. Tar. Basement, first floor. The Figaro Castle engine room is down those stairs. The engines are currently undergoing maintenance, so we can be ready to move at a moment's notice if the need arises. Yes, because... I'm sorry, I can't let you down there. It's too dangerous. Because, of course, Figaro Castle is an airship? I think? As I said, it's been a while since I've played this. These good-for-nothing brigands have been locked up for thievery, and worse. You best keep a safe distance. Can't go down there yet. Go and speak to the king. Go and speak to the king. I think we probably need to go and speak to the king. It's a thought. You mean this young woman is... Who are you? Oh, my apologies. How rude of me to turn my back to a lady on our very first meeting. The young king of Figaro Castle, imperial ally, and a champion of the technological revolution. Edgar! I am Edgar, the king of Figaro. Heh, Surprised that someone like me knows a king? Not. Well, I'll catch you two later. So, you're an Imperial soldier, right? Don't worry, Figaro and the Empire are allies. Feel free to rest here for as long as you like. It's not in my blood to harm a lady. Why are you being so kind to me? Is it because of my abilities? I'll give you 3 reasons. First of all, your beauty has captivated me. Second, I'm dying to know if I'm your type. I guess your abilities would rank a distant third. What's the matter? I guess my technique's getting a bit rusty. I suppose a normal girl would have felt something from those words. But not me. Oh, I'm in control. I'm not just standing there for no reason. Feel free to wander about the castle. Okay, can I go sit on the throne? Apparently not. Disappointing. Talk to lots of people in the castle, Kupo. I heard the Gestalian Empire got its hands on something called magic. Attain Phoenix Down. Are these doors? Yes, they are. It's a guy with a box. It's a merchant with a box. 500 gil. Why have I got 10,000 gil? Is that from all the grinding that I ended up doing? Just to get the stuff set up? Probably is. Obtained a gold needle. Why is he just kind of randomly there in a tiny room off the courtyard? Auto crossbow. Noise blaster. These are weapons for Edgar, aren't they? I think they are. I shall steal your stuff, old man. Sorry. You wouldn't know by looking at it, but this castle's loaded with advanced technology. For example, it's all top secret. Layering. Figaro has an alliance with the Empire. Yes. I am aware. No. I'm not going to rest for a bit, but thank you anyway. Our king showers his attention on women, young, old, pretty, or plain. No one's safe. Out the way, I want to talk to the other one. Not too long ago, the king tried to hit on the high priestess. Oh, did she ever let him have it? I'm sure he's made a pass or two at you already, hasn't he? Oh, Edgar. You're such a cad. Quah! This is Figaro, the desert castle. But it's not really a castle. Edgar has a twin brother, you know. He was such a nice boy, always thinking of his family. Edgar? What's wrong with Dad? Why is everyone talking about a successor? Are you blind? Haven't you seen how thin his face has become? What do you mean? Edgar? Are you crying? Edgar's twin brother, who traded the throne for his own freedom. Sabin! Sabin. I've always pronounced it Sabin. Ah, yes, Sabin. I'm sure he's a fine young man by now. He was just a boy when he left, even smaller than his brother. I often wonder where he is now and what he's doing. We'll find out later, because the fact that we've had to name him means that he's going to join our party. His Highness said he'd marry me when I got old enough. Because he's a bit of a creep. The Gestalian Empire has already overthrown all 3 of the other nations on the southern continent, even. It's only a matter of time before they make their way up here. Indeed. Oh, we can leave. I didn't realise we could leave. Well, apparently we can. Halt! Oh, it's you. Proceed. Are we supposed to go down to the engine room now? Can't remember. No. Still not going down there. Ah, there's a switch there, and I can't get to it because there's an old man in the way. Can we get down to here now? Aha! Ugh, something smells terrible in here. Oh, I think it's me. Oh. Anything hidden down here? This is the thing about the old Final Fantasy games. They tended to hide secret passageways in technically plain sight. I'm Lone Wolf the Pickpocket. Good for you. Relax, my boys are just blowing off some steam. I'm sure King Ed will let us out in no time. We're just small potatoes compared to the real threat lurking out there. King Edgar knows that. I think we've been through that one, haven't we? The most advanced structure in the world. Scholars all over the world are studying magic, but you can only learn so much about something without seeing it. The ancients once wielded a force known as magic. Those who mastered the art were called magi. Man, if only we knew something about that. Ooh, stairs. Oh, I think this is just taking us back out. So, yeah. Is there another tower over here? Yes, there is. It's all about balance. The advanced weapons and other items we manufacture here are shipped to South Figaro. That's great. I think then maybe I need to leave. And just wander off. Oh no! I'm on my own and I've been attacked by 3 enemies. Ow. 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 Have I been paralyzed? Or have I been stopped? I feel like I might have been stopped. This might be over very quickly. Because I can't do anything. Well, shit. Game over. Oh, no, I'm back on my feet. Run away! Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. That went well, didn't it? Isn't there something down here? A cave, yeah. This cave leads to South Figure. I'm afraid I can't let you through, though. No. Oh. I can deal with you, Leaf Bunny. I can deal with you good. No. Duh. Oh, I'm stopped again. I feel like maybe I wasn't supposed to leave the castle until I got like 2 people in the party. The party has fallen. At least it starts you over again with where you were. Right. So, we need to look for somebody that will trigger the next. The king's brother was so disgusted by the succession that he fled the castle, never looking back. I've heard tell that the entire matter was settled by the flip of a coin. Ah. Well, how do you like my castle? King Edgar, there's someone from the Empire here to see you, sire. Oh, Kefka, no doubt. Fury! The Emperor Star's stupid orders. Edgar, you pinhead! Why'd you have to live out in the middle of a stinging desert? These recon jobs are the pits. There's sand on my boots. All gone, sir. Ah, there's the laugh. How pathetic. Sir Kefka, what in the world brings you? Out of my way. I need to decide on a voice for Kefka. Oh, I am currently Edgar. You would be thinking of invading my kingdom next, would you? We have an alliance. An alliance? With this miserable little sandpit? Don't make me laugh. I hear you've been busy down south, taking over a country or 3. Just what is the Empire up to? That's none of your concern. What brings Emperor Gassal's own court mage Kefka to my humble castle? A girl of no importance recently escaped from us. We heard she found refuge here. This wouldn't have to do with that witch everyone's been whispering about, would it? Lies! She merely stole something of minor value. Is she here? That's a tough one. There are more girls in here than grains of sand in the desert. A man couldn't possibly keep track of them all. No, Edgar. You know you only stand to lose by trying to hide her from us. I truly hope nothing happens to your precious Figaro. Machinist. What does Edgar have ability? Oh. Nothing ability-wise currently. Well. I didn't like the sound of that. Where's Terra? Take her to her room. I'd love to stay and chat, but the Chancellor and I need to do some planning now. Being a king's not all tea and crumpets, if you'll excuse me. Follow me. I will. There's an option in the menu for 8-way directional walking, and it's not very good. I feel like it actually makes... No, actually, maybe it doesn't make things worse. I assume he's gone over here. Aha! Sorry, I didn't mean to drag you around like this without giving you a chance to rest. I'm... Locke, right? Edgar told me about you. Is it true you're a thief? I'm a treasure hunter. On the surface, Edgar pretends to support the Empire. Truth is, he's collaborating with an underground resistance group called the Returners. I serve as their go-between. The old man you met in Narshe is one of us too. The Empire? But I'm an Imperial soldier. Not anymore. They were using you, that's all. Things are different now. It's just... I don't know what I should do. Whenever I try to think, it just makes my head hurt even worse. All that matters is that you make your own decisions from now on. You don't have to think too hard right now. You know what you want to do when the time comes. But please help us. But how will I know which choice is right? The eternal question, Terra. The eternal question. What in the... Fire! Fire! Alarm! What's going on? It's the Emperor! Kefka, he... What do you think you're doing? Oh, I'm still in control. Bring me the girl, now. I have no idea what you're talking about. Oh? Then enjoy the barbecue. The castle's on fire. Fire, fire. Yes, the castle is on fire. Get her ready. Yes, sire. You had a change of heart? It seems I have no choice. Or perhaps I do. Oh my, the brave noble king abandons his people to save his own skin. How utterly delightful. Jump! Quack! All right, sink her in. Oh, that's the wrong voice entirely. All right, sink her into the sand. Yahoo! What? Ah. Oh, it's not an airship, it's a sand burrowing ship. Figaro dive mode engaged! Witness the glory of Figaro! Let me get inside before I get sand in my face. It's gone. Go! Kill them! Is this Biggs and Wedge? Uh-oh. Metal kick. Tools. Auto crossbow. Fire. I didn't even see whether Locke actually stole anything there because I'm a muppet. What's the matter, Edgar? What made you jump like that all of a sudden? Did you just see what I saw? You did, right? Right? Oh, of course, because we use magic. Yeah, this kid's really something, huh? Really something? That was magic. Magic. Magic? She used magic? Whisper, whisper. Terror? Your name was Terror, right? What exactly was that just now? I'm sorry, No, we should be apologising. I didn't mean to make such a big deal out of it. Nor did I. It just surprised me. I mean, I've never actually seen magic before. Where did you... It doesn't matter, does it, Edgar? Terra can use magic and we can't. That's all there is to it. The fact is that there's 2 Magitech troopers standing behind us that are just sitting there waiting for us to kill them. The fact is, her magic could really help us right now. Thank you, Locke. Thank you, Edgar. Metal kick. Auto crossbow. Obtained high potion X2. I seem to recall auto potion. Auto crossbow was particularly good. Bravo, Figaro! Bye, Kefka. You loser. Son of a sandworm. You'll pay for this. That was great. Were those bad people? I'm scared. Terra, there's someone we'd like you to meet. Like I told you before, we're members of the Returners. Would you be willing to meet our leader? Magic is going to be the key to winning this war. Magic. That Esper reacted to your magical powers. There's got to be a relationship. I don't know any more than you do. These powers just come naturally to me. But no human is born with the powers you have. Yeah, just tell her that she's not human. Forgive me. What should I do? The Empire will be coming after us. They want your powers for their own. And if they get them, the world is done for. Terra, you want to understand your own powers, don't you? Then I think you should meet with Bannon. He may be able to help you find out more about why you have them. Please, Edgar's right. There's a cave just south of here that leads to South Figaro. Let's head in that direction. Oh God, I'd forgotten about this. The slightly ropey Chocobo physics. Oh, I should probably save the game. No, typical. You, sir? A dade. That was an ambitious ambush, O'Leaf Bunny. but it has led to your untimely demise. Kefka, where are you headed, sire? Through the cave and eastward to South Figaro. We'll then make for the returner headquarters in the north. Return to the castle and pass the word along. Understood, sire. Take care. Ba, 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 ba. It's a turtle! Why is there a... I don't know why there's a turtle in the recovery spring, but there is. That's going to do it for this very first episode of Demagen Replays Final Fantasy VI for the first time in 20 years. That's not what I'm going to call the series, but that's what it is. I'm going to have to go through and write down what voices I do for these characters, or edit them in post, which is a lot of work. I'm not a professional voice actor, as any of you who've ever watched my Final Fantasy XIV Shadowbringers narrative experience, and I use those two words very, very loosely. As you are well aware, not a professional voice actor, but I do like doing the silly voices for characters. There'll be more of this in the next episode as we make our way through this cave and try and figure out why there's a turtle here. Just once again, I'd like to reiterate, I have not played this game since somewhere between 1999 and 2001, 2002. It was somewhere in that region. I don't remember exactly when, and I played the SNES version. This is the Steam version with mods, and I just love this soundtrack. And to be fair, it does look, you know, I'll turn the scan lines off and on. It just makes a teeny tiny difference in terms of, you know, bringing everything together. It's a tiny thing. The biggest change, and arguably the biggest annoyance, is what they've done to the kind of magic and ability menu and how it's overlaid over the middle of the screen. Not a fan of that. But, you know, it's got an updated script. I've never played this version of the script because obviously I played the SNES version originally, and that had the original script. So, son of a submariner. Didn't it used to say son of a sandworm? Or was it son of a sandworm and it used to say son of the submariner? It's one of the two that it said in this version. I know that they've changed it. Thank you very much for watching, folks. Hope you have enjoyed this first foray into FF6. Catch me next time for more. Until then, cheerio. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, why not click the like button and consider subscribing. Remember, you can ring the bell notification icon to get notified when new videos go live. And until next time, cheerio.